Hello, everybody. Scott Golden with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel, and we are going to continue our TNT Tuesday Night Titans review series today. October 16th, 1984 is the way to go. Kind of an uneventful show here, although there are a couple of angles that are worth taking a peek at. It's kind of one of those shows where you can skim through it really quick, but there's a couple things worth stopping for that are historic in nature. So we open with Sergeant Slaughter. He is doing the Cobra Corps training camp. Basically, think military boot camp, only with Slaughter as the boot camp sergeant, which he had played the role of as a heel in the year, probably just under a year and a half prior. I know the main feud there was Pat Patterson over the Cobra Clutch, and this babyface incarnation leads to matches with Volkov and most notably the Iron Sheik. Anyway, I don't know, it's your typical rah-rah USA stuff. If you're into patriotic stuff and into G.I. Joe at the time, because there was debate over Slaughter being allowed to do the outside project, you might enjoy this. Personal opinion, I'm not a patriotic person for any country, not just the U.S. It's not a U.S. hatred thing. It's more I don't believe in country boundaries thing. Anyway, so this doesn't click with me. Matter of fact, it's kind of over the top. He's having soldiers work out and screaming at them like a drill sergeant, and having them do push-ups and sit-ups and other sundry things. It's it gets the character over. I mean, certainly there are people who would embrace this and love it, and if you like 80s Americana, this definitely would be for you. Amazing to me that he must have been gone by 85, early 85. Otherwise, I find it shocking that he wasn't on Mania 1, but we'll watch the journey go along. Anyhow, we go into an interview with Tito Santana, who is now the former Intercontinental Champion, having dropped the championship to one Greg the Hammer Valentine, entering into one of my all-time favorite Intercontinental Championship feuds of all time, which lasted almost a year and a half. I think it was 16 months in total, including cage matches and strap matches and lumberjack matches and all sorts of things. But the angle to jumpstart it is touched on here as Valentine jumps him post-bell, does damage to his limb to the point where he needs surgery. We actually go into the surgical suite, or not the surgical suite, but the surgical prep area with Santana through the Miracles video. We then see a match. Santana really, and I will say this, plays a phenomenal babyface in peril in one regard, and that is you literally believe that he cares about how long it's going to take him to come back from a I want to compete level and not just a I want a paycheck level. That's something that I think baby faces of today can learn from. But anyway, so we see him fighting Rene Goulet, and very technical match. Goulet gets more offense than I would imagine here. A lot of mat work, and Goulet is better than a lot of people probably would have expected. Santana wins with the flying forearm. Match worth going out of your way to see if you are a mid-level babyface who is trying to get over the fact that they can do competitive matches and make others look good. We go back to the interview, and Santana just talks more about how he is dissatisfied with being laid up for as long as he is. He's discussing that he doesn't know how long he'll be out. Could be months, could be several months. He's not sure. You can almost see that he's emotional about this. And, I mean, that's uncomfortable there. We move into John Studd attempting to break the bench press record. Obviously, the bench press record is worked. At least I believe it is at this point. Studd still doesn't have the nature of. Now, I don't know that the Bobby Heenan pairing has officially been made official on TV yet. I think it might be on this program because I know there's a clip in one of the episodes where Heenan is shown with Studd. I think it might be the following week. But anyway, Studd does a lift, which is several, probably about 50 pounds less than the actual lift, and then struggles to, he complains about bad lift off, then struggles to get the record lift, blaming Vince and anyone who will listen. I'm not a fan of this. I didn't like it when they did it with Dino Bravo years later. I don't like it when they did it with Studd here. If you're gonna put a guy over as a strongman, even if you work it, he should win and not lose in those scenarios. Wild Samoans versus Murdoch and Adonis is what you'd imagine it to be. The champions do go over. Brawling match predominantly, although Murdoch and Adonis do show more wrestling skill than actually imagined. Actually, I think this is the match they threw out as a double DQ. Just because there's more brawling in this match than anything. So then we move on to Vince with Bruno, and Bruno's talking about the history, how guys today are more athletic than before, and how he's getting his son ready, how he never had time off to be around his son, how he, doesn't like a lot of the underhandedness of individuals in the WWE today. In the second segment, he endorses his son, Bruno or David Bruno Sammartino Jr., which I didn't know his middle name was Bruno. Just, you know, the endorsement's kind of there, and it's awkward knowing what you know about how A, he has a falling out with his son in a really ugly way, B, how he falls out with the company less than 3 years later. Well, maybe not, maybe 3.5, but by 88, certainly Bruno is on the outs with the company, and maybe even late 87, he's on the outs with the company, and all of that does have a trickle-down effect on his son not receiving the push that he wants. His son actually, and we'll get there in a future audio, but he actually submits to a underneath talent in, I believe it was either MSG or the Spectrum, just as a form of protest against not liking his push. Anyway, we move on to Freddie Blassie with relationship advice. This is campy as you would expect. He basically is insulting women. It doesn't hold up well, not for today, not for any era, but, he's kind of, women need to impress their men and be more engaging and blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, we move on to Tonga Kid, who is one of the better in-ring Samoan athletes. Tonga Kid being groomed here to, I assume, replace Jimmy Snuka long term. I don't know the backstage politics, but by this point, the almost ending of Snuka's career due to the Nancy Argentino death has to be in play here by October '84, and so Tonga Kid brought in to finish off things with Piper. Tonga talks about how arrogant Piper is, how he's defending the honor of the Samoan family and Snuka and everybody involved. Then we see Ted Grizzly. Great name for an enhancement talent. Don't know if that's his legit name, but if it is, I guess the wrestling gods and goddesses smiled on him. got a good body on him for an enhancement talent. But anyway, chops and kicks and basic moves. And I honestly think, and I'd love to see it debated in the comments below, in the comment section here. I actually liked his top rope splash better than Snuka's at this point. It's more fluid and it feels more impactful. That was just um, my belief about it. Not everybody is into that. Then we see traditional hula dancing and luau type stuff, including uh, cooked pork and other ethnic dishes cooked by the Tonga Kid. The idea here is to make him relatable and kind and all that good stuff. Um, and I mean, I guess it works, but at the same time, and it makes me sad looking back because I think Tonga could have gone so much further. Um, Too much too soon for a kid at this point who's 18, 19 years old in 1984. You know, working the Garden and Boston Garden and the Philly Spectrum and all these places with the guy on top like Piper, and I think it just got to be too much for him. We close the segment with highlight packages, including the Thump Slam. I don't know where that name came from. Of the newly acquired Junkyard Dog. Obviously, people like the dog. Um, I get it when I watch his Mid South stuff. I'm not a fan of his WWF stuff, and the further along we get into it, save for his stuff with Harley Race, I enjoyed some of that. I think his team with Santana could have gone a little further. But I get why Junkyard Dog got over, but I prefer him in Mid South. If you're a dog fan, please comment below about what connected with the dog for you in his WWF run, because I'm missing something, and I hate missing something. So, in any event, please feel free to comment below. We're going to try and get more of these up today. And until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.